Hey Easy World, I am back with another video. Today we will be doing a side-by-side comparison of Loewe's hero product, their most iconic bag, and it is the OG puzzle bag. Here are some dupes that I have shown many times on my channel, but I figure it would be fun to do a side-by-side comparison, show you what fits, talk a little bit about the hardware, the leather, and of course the price point. So if you are looking to add a Loewe puzzle to your collection but haven't made the plunge because there are so many great options out there, I hope this video is going to be helpful for you. So let's just get right into it. Just to do a quick recap of why we love this bag so much, this was launched in 2015, so actually not that long ago, like 10 years ago, and how it basically took the fashion world by storm because Jonathan Anderson created something that was really innovative but also acceptable by both men and women, and you've seen so many iterations being released since then. And each Loewe puzzle bag, I feel like I have to say Loewe puzzle bag, I can't just say puzzle bag, I don't know why, but is made out of 75 different pieces of leather and masterfully crafted and sewn together by hand, which I think also allows us as luxury lovers to appreciate how complex and how whimsical this bag looks, and I think that's probably why this has been so popular over the years. Now, as we know, in the recent years, they released the basically blasphemy of a design of the edge bag, in my opinion, is not as gorgeous, as sophisticated as it once was with the OG design, where they just take one big piece, cut it up, and then sew it together. And it kind of reminds me like a diaper, right? Like one of those diapers you see, the cloth, and then you put a pin through it and then call it a day. That's just my opinion. Now that we got that out of the way, let's do the side-by-side comparison because we all know what a Loewe puzzle bag looks like, right? So we've got the horse Clementine bag, which is an Australian brand. I won't go into every little bit of detail for you. I have an entire, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 videos at least. So I'll make sure to link that playlist down below for you. And I recently unboxed this particular puzzle bag, or they call it patchwork, which is an awful name, from Quince. Now, obviously, this is probably the most innovative in terms of design, but people have deemed it to be the puzzle dupe. I think I see it, but then I kind of don't see it because I feel like this one, to me, is of its own design as well, even though there are some resemblance. But in any case, let's talk about the openings, which I think is the biggest deterrent for me and not purchasing a puzzle bag in the first place to add to my collection. You've got the opening right here where it is a flap opening, and then you've got the zipper. Now, you can say this is the most secure bag if you want to take this with you on your travels. However, biggest complaint for a lot of people is that this is impossible to open. You know, if you've got bigger hands or if you're using a smaller, or if you picked a smaller size, it's hard to get in and out of, and you would start scraping your hands on the zipper, right? Now I have a ring light or some box light that is shining into the bag so that you can easily see what's in there. However, if you're just out and about, you don't have a spotlight on you at all times, it's kind of a black hole in here. You have to go stirring around for, you know, ooh, look, Mandy left a lippy in here. I actually gave this to her for her birthday. And she also has a bag hanger thing. But yeah, you would have to go stirring around for your items. Yes, it is very secure because you've got the zipper and then you've got the flap over it. You also have to hold on to the flap as you are going in and out of the bag. I find that very cumbersome and very inconvenient. Now, whereas the horse Clementine, if you look at this is the upgraded version of it, in my opinion. Now, yes, you don't have the beautiful patchwork in front. Well, I can't believe I just called that the patchwork. You don't see the actual puzzle, you know, handcraft stitching in the front. And then this one can be worn. For this one, you can see there's a distinctive front and back of the bag. Whereas this one, you can wear either way. Now, the opening here is going to be so much easier to look into, grab your stuff, and you're good to go. They also have the built-in magnets here, so you can easily just kind of close the bag and then go about your merry way. Now, talking about the opening for the Quince patchwork bag, this is the more of a resemblance of the OG bag. However, they've upgraded it where it's kind of like a hybrid between the two. You've got the built-in interior magnets and you can open it up, and the opening is just so easy to get in and out of. Now, I haven't torn this bag apart. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep this bag because it feels a little repetitive in my collection, especially with the horse. I'll kind of wrap it up at the end and give you my thoughts why I'm still kind of wishy-washy about keeping this bag. But Quince does have a 365-day return policy, so I can kind of just sit on. Anyways, but it does come with an easy kind of access, and then you kind of just like it sucks it closed, right? Now, talking about the back of the bag here, you can see that this is a zipper where you can put your phone in here. It does fit a phone. I did do a demonstration when I unrevealed this bag, and the zipper is fantastic. Whereas this one, I know with the bigger versions for the Loewe, some of them do have a zipper. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's so many iterations of the Loewe, but for this particular version, hey, look, Sandy wipe. How convenient is that? You can't fit a phone in here. It's not as secure because it's not a zip compartment. The other point I also want to make is that you can see the top handles. These are considered flat handles with both the Quince and the horse bag. However, with the Loewe Puzzle, it is going to be a rolled handle. So depending on what you prefer, I actually don't really have that much of a preference. I feel like both of them are pretty comfortable to hold on to if you decide to wear this top handle instead of a crossbody strap. The other point I do want to make, I feel like this little flap right here is a little bit unnecessary. I guess I don't understand the design element of this. Like, what is the purpose of this? It just looks a little odd, and if it's connecting to the zipper, I kind of get that, but it doesn't seem like it's connecting to anything. It's just an extra flappy, like, you know, dog ears on the side. Maybe if you are thinking of functionality, some people like to grab the tabs and then pull open the zipper, but it's not, you know, it's not the biggest deal. You can just hold on to the top handle. Whereas the horse, I feel like I have so many bags in front of me. I need to film this a little bit different. Whereas the horse, it's a much seamless kind of design where you don't have extra flaps on the side of the bag. Next, let's compare leathers. Obviously, Loewe's leather is impeccable. It is smooth skin, so I wouldn't say this is a good apples to apples comparison. The leather on this feels much more luxurious. It is very soft. However, Mandy has used this bag quite a bit, and we don't see the slouch happening here. And additionally, because the slouch is not happening here, and she's had this for over 1.5 years, and she literally wears this thing nonstop. So I'm surprised that the slouch hasn't happened. Maybe she needs to do a little bit more karate chopping here. However, but because she goes in and out of that bag quite often, it feels like the flap is kind of flipping upwards, and it just doesn't look as seamless as you would want it to be. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I've seen a lot of different puzzles out there that has slouched beautifully. So maybe she needs to work a little bit on that. Now, talking about the horse, you can see how slouchy this is. I've had this for almost 1 year, and I've used this bag quite a bit. When I first received it, it was actually pretty structured, but I've used this bag so much. I've taken it to hotels, I've taken it to work, I've taken it everywhere, just leisure usage, right? And it started slouching very nicely. And I wonder if it has to contribute to the fact that I do open and close and kind of like made this leather more malleable so that it started slouching. And then you can see that the structure on the side, like the leather on the side of the bag, is actually much more structured. It is very hard. Whereas this one, it feels like the leather is very proportionate in terms of how stiff or how structured it is on every side of the bag. Now, lastly, this Quince one is kind of like a happy medium between the two as well, where they do have some more structure on the sides and the bottom of the bag, and the leather is a little bit softer. Now, obviously, I haven't used this bag at all, so I can't really speak to how the slouch is going to look like in the future. But if there's more structure on the side, I imagine that this is going to start slouching a little bit more nicely than the OG right here. Next, we're going to look at the hardware. For starting, I guess we should start with the Loewe since it's the OG. With the Loewe puzzle bag, this is kind of a one-off case because a lot of the puzzle bags out there do come with gold or silver hardware. The one she chose is monochromatic, if I can ever say that name, say that word right, monochromatic. And we knew going into this that the paint is not going to stay on. That's just how it is, right? No metal is not going to chip if it's been painted the same color, regardless of how expensive the bag is or isn't. So you can see, and of course I'll insert photos probably better instead of trying to shove this bag in your face here. There are chips, paint peeling off of the hardware as she's wearing it and where the strap is hanging off of the D-rings or lobster claws. The D-rings or the handles right here has done a little bit better where majority of the wear is actually on the lobster claw and the paint chipping off. What's interesting that I haven't noticed till recently, like 2 minutes ago, is that the D-ring, I guess if you call this the D-ring, is actually a little bit flexible in terms of the shape and twisting. That is such a genius design because of physics, right? This is going to be a lot more seamless going this way. So they wanted to make sure that the D-ring right here is going to make the bag look much more seamless when you are wearing it crossbody. So you can see how it's a little bit curvy. That is such a great design. I would say that for the Quince bag and the hardware, it's a shiny shiny hardware, shiny gold hardware, but they're very smart when it comes to having 2 D-rings, keeping it separate so they don't fight with each other once you have the strap on. And the strap itself is going to be this lobster claw, very similar to a Louis Vuitton lobster claw, and you just hook it on. And it seems very seamless in my opinion. Lastly, the horse bag also uses a very similar lobster claw to the Louis Vuitton. This one's going to be in silver, and the top handle obviously is designed very differently, so it doesn't need to have additional hardware to be built in on the side of the bag. The quality of the lobster claw on both the horse and the Quince, I feel like they're very on par with each other, and you can feel confident that this is not going to chip or have any wear and tear like the Loewe monochromatic one. Talking a little bit about the crossbody strap, you can see that this has adjustable straps in the most peculiar way. Not my most favorite because it doesn't give you a lot of flexibility because you have to undo the little push button here and then stretch it out, and that usually doesn't give you a whole lot of flexibility, like I said. The strap itself is going to be relatively thick, so it is very comfortable for you to wear. Now, when it comes to the Quince crossbody strap, you do have the traditional crossbody strap where you can punch more holes if you like, because when it's designed like this, you want to punch more holes? Sorry, you're SOL on that. You get 3 different holes here and that is it, because there's no room for you to make more holes if you wanted to. Whereas this one is going to be much more flexible, right? I don't need to talk about this. You know the design of these kind of straps. And then lastly, you've got the Loewe kind of beautiful strap where it's got Loewe on one side and then their anagram on the other side, which is beautiful. But hey, guess what? You have to be a certain height to wear this bag or a certain shape to wear this bag because it is not adjustable whatsoever. And I completely got distracted because I was talking about the Loewe leather and I forgot to talk about the 2 different leathers here. Now, in terms of ranking the leather, I would say Loewe feels the most luxurious. However, this one is smooth skin, so it is a little bit more prone to scratching and blemishes that might be more noticeable. The Quince one is going to be grain skin, feels a little bit dry, a little bit pastel-y, is that the right word? A little bit more matte. And for the horse, it is a little bit more glossier looking, very luxurious. I would say Loewe has the best leather, obviously, for the price tag that you are paying for. This one is number 2. This one is going to be number 3. And then for me to do a quick ranking of the hardware, I would say this is number 1 and this is number 2. Again, just judging from this particular Loewe. When it comes to the strap, I would say this one ranks number 1, this one ranks number 2, and then this one ranks number 3 based on functionality. Now, obviously, this one is the most beautiful with the anagram as well as the Loewe logo on there. Talking a little bit about the opening, the horse bag has my favorite opening because it's just so easy to get in and out of. The second one is going to be the Quince bag, just because I feel like this is built-in magnets. You had me at built-in magnets. Then lastly, we already talked about this. The opening is basically incredibly annoying to get in and out of. Other features I want to rank real quick as a whole so that this video is not an hour long. The feet at the bottom of the Quince, point. No feet at the bottom of the horse bag. And you also don't have feet at the bottom of the OG puzzle bag. This one also is superior when it comes to the back pocket, and the zipper is just fantastic. Super easy to open and close. You can fit a phone in there. So if you don't want to dig into your bag, this one is super clutch. Back pockets are clutch. Obviously, this bag also, I wish I had a side pocket, but it doesn't really warrant it. And it just might look a little weird with a slouch. So it's okay. You're forgiven not to have a back pocket, but it is really easy to get in and out of the bag. And the Loewe Puzzle ranks last when it comes to just the really useless pocket at the back. I mean, you can vertically stand up your phone in here, but it's just like, at least create some security, right? Hopefully this was helpful in seeing a side-by-side comparison of all three of these bags. I will post measurements down in the description box for you, but I would say right off the bag, these are all pretty similar in size. This one is going to be the most slim profile. Well, technically this one's also pretty slim profile, but it does have the slouch, so it makes it look a little chubbier than it actually is. And this one is a little bit wider than the profile of this particular bag. Now I want to show you what fits in each of these bags. And if you are new here, drop a comment down below. Let me know you're new here so I can welcome you to my channel. If you are returning, glad you're here. You know what to do. All right, so I filled this up. You can see it actually can fit a lot because this is basically a box and a rectangular, right? It's filled to the brim. It's so hard to find anything. I had to play Tetris in here, but we've got my little Fourier Lepage that Mandy gave me. I've got my little Beat headphones in here just to keep it safe. My card holder from Go Yard. I also have my new Valentino catch-all, which is like a lippy set. Everything I'm talking about today, additionally, is going to be linked down below. So go check out the links. I think this is such a cute little Valentino. Of course, it's hot pink. Of course I had to get it. And it comes with a lippy as well as a refill. So I thought that was kind of cool. I also have my little Target. Isn't this adorable? I found this at Target recently. And I was like, yes, buy. But this is a reusable bag and it's very slim profile. You can just kind of shove it in there. I also have my sunglasses case from Dior. This is a pretty bulky case. And I was able to manage to put a entire coat. I don't have a water bottle, so I just put a brand new, this one's not opened. It is actually pretty heavy in here so that you can see for size reference. So it does all fit in there. And then and then of course a phone. Now looking at the back pocket here, you obviously cannot fit a phone sideways, but you can kind of in a pinch, just kind of slip it in there so that you can be hands-free, or if you want to just keep it there, I guess for whatever reasons. Now there was room for me to put more stuff in there, but I didn't want to just because it would fill it to the brim and you wouldn't be able to see what you have at the bottom of your bag without taking a bunch of stuff out, and that is the last thing you want to do when you're out and about. Now let's look at the horse clementine in the regular size. You can see that there's still a slouch here, whereas if you fill this bag up to the brim, you wouldn't be able to get that slouch going, which I think is also what happened to Mandy because she did bring a lot of stuff with her. So there was no room for the bag to start slouching. Whereas this one, it still has that room to slouch. However, when you open it up, bam, you can see everything that you have in there at one single glance. You don't have to play Tetris just because it is a top open, but same kind of things. You could put more stuff on top if you want. But you can see you've got your little drink, the same sunglasses case. And as I'm taking it out, you can see there's plenty of room. My little catch-all, my pouch from Fourier Lepage. You've got the card holder, the phone, and of course the reusable bag. So it just lays incredibly nice for you to see all of your items and you can reach in there without fumbling around or stir the pot. Lastly, you've got the patchwork from Quince and you can see it is filled to the brim. There's a little bit less space for you to add more things than the Loewe and the horse clementine, but it still fits really nicely in here. So you've got the key pouch, the same little Coke can sized, my bubbly water. You've got your phone and my catch-all, the card holder, reusable bag, and of course you've got my massive sunglasses case. And just to show you, and this is an iPhone 10, this is a work phone, you can easily put this in here and zip it up. How cool is that? Or if you prefer, you can actually you want to have your wallet in here, it just fits in here very nicely. So point to this one to have a back pocket. Let's wrap things up and talk about pricing. Now, obviously they don't make this one anymore. You still can find them on the Preloved market. I'm just looking on the Loewe actual website. They do still have the original design here. However, the only one available, it's got this braided handle. So I don't know if that adds to the cost. It probably adds to the cost. The small size, which is what this one is $4,100. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money when there's so many good dupes out there, but I get it. You want to buy the OG one. If you're willing to spend $4,100 plus tax here in the United States, go for it. If you can find one pre-loved, I think that's probably the best way to go. They do hold their value quite well. So go hunting. Go hunting. I like the thrill of hunt, but always look on Fashion File. At least you get, if you can find one in pretty decent condition, you can actually save, maybe 30-40% if you find the right combination, which is also the beauty of this Loewe puzzle, because there's a lot of different fun, festive colors and different combinations, different multicolor if you're into that thing. And the new release I saw on Connor's closet, and he had the little clouds on there. That is just so freaking adorable. Now, if you want something that is very similar, it's not going to be as luxurious, but more functional, get the Quince one. It's only $140, $150. It is a fraction of what this costs. And then lastly, you've got the horse. This one costs $200. I would say out of my cost to quality to benefit functionality ratio, I would still say the horse is my top favorite out of all three of these bags. They have a lot of different colors when it comes to the horse, the burgundy, the olive, oat. There's a number of colors you can choose from. This one obviously has the most colors you can choose from. When it comes to the Quince one, there's like 2-3 colors. So not a whole lot options for you to choose from. So something to think about. I really hope this was helpful. Drop a comment down below. Ask me any questions. I will do my best to try to get back to every single person. It might take me a little bit, but if you have questions, let me know. And if you own any of these bags, drop a comment. What are your thoughts? Do you think my assessment was correct and on par with your assessment? Life is hard. I want to help you save time and money so that you can somehow adult easier and hopefully less than retail. I'll see y'all next time.